It's okay. It's okay, Mike. There's always next year.
Oh my god, I'm so happy that I won Evo! I wanted to win really bad and I won, and now I'm so sad. Thank you for everyone. Guys, welcome to Push Your Shout podcast, episode 79, and today we have lots of feelings. And we want to share these feelings with you on this special edition Feelings Cast, beamed right into your brain. We're going to be giving you all kinds of vibes, all kinds of mellows, or harshes, depending on how you're feeling. Skippy, how are you feeling? It's been a while since we've had a chat.
Yeah, we were talking before we got on the stream that last time we streamed was right before Brexit.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Brexit, batten down the hatches. Okay, so, yeah, that did happen.
We're all doomed.
Now,
Instant recession.
there's not much to say.
Prices are through the roof. We're
Yeah.
all fucked. I can't believe all the game journalists were right about how the economy was instantly going to crash.
It's true.
Right after Brexit.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Now, I have a little to say about this. We won't stay on this, but because I work at like an
this
investment
is your
bank.
expertise.
No, I don't want to share any opinions about it. Just, at work, it was a very, very busy day because
I imagine.
as soon as the vote came through, it was a surprise to most people. And so the next day, it was the second busiest day of trading in history. I was informed by my boss.
Wow.
So,
Didn't
yeah,
know
a
that.
very, very busy day. Thankfully, I was still early enough in the training process that I didn't have to do a whole lot myself, but other people around there did. So, yeah, it was a really interesting day. I mean, I don't work on a trading floor. I work in operations at this place. But still, it was kind of like what you would see in the movies. Where normally it's a quiet place, but people shouting across the room, and what are we doing on this? Come on, people! We got 10 minutes to market close.
Back off their cubicle walls.
Yeah, a little bit of that going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, but what can you say? It's been 3 weeks now, and the world is still turning. So big shock there.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There's as far as God, I don't know. There's kind of a lot to cover. It's been a while. I don't know what to talk about first. What have I got on my list here? I've got Oculus first. So I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that. My dad got an Oculus Rift
Really?
and a new PC to run it. He's really into this.
Did he just
iRacing.
do it on his own? He didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wanted him to buy a Vive, because I said, well, the Vive can do more and it isn't locked to its own thing, but iRacing, which he uses as his racing simulator, doesn't support Vive officially.
Okay.
So he probably made the right choice because that's all he wanted it for anyway. It is really cool though. I gotta say, it is really, really, really awesome, especially on a racing game. I didn't get sick or anything, but I can understand how people get sick because going around a track that I'm used to going around in an actual race car.
It's the same track?
Yeah.
Okay.
The same tracks. Yeah. Road Atlanta, Barber. He's been to a few more that are on there, like Laguna Seca, Watkins Glen, Mid Ohio. What's the one in Florida? I forgot his name. But anyway, when you go over hills, or through dips and
Wario
stuff,
Circuit.
yeah, Wario World. You expect to get that feeling of weightlessness or getting pressed down in your seat or whatever, and when that doesn't come, it's really, really disorienting. It's weird, and I was just surprised at how much it actually affected me. But then I kind of started to get used to it and not expect that feeling, and then I realized how much easier it made the game. Being able to tell what the car was doing is way easier. It's easier to catch the car when it starts sliding and stuff like that, just because you're now more immersed into it, I guess. It's cool. It's really cool. If you get into a slide or something, looking out the window as you do it to correct yourself and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It really sold me a lot more on VR. I was already pretty sold. I already think it's awesome, but the fact that it works as well as it does, and it was a little blurry, but it was fine. It didn't bother me, and I tried some other games in there that I wasn't expecting to work very well, but did. I downloaded War Thunder and flew in some planes and did some dogfights and stuff. And it's blurrier than I would like, but you can see the other planes even at a distance. Like it's not like everything just disappears because it's blurry. And it's crazy flying in a plane and being able to like look out the window and stuff, and like flying low to the ground and like looking out the side and like seeing the trees going by and stuff. And then at one point I got my wing shot off and I looked over and there's no wing and I'm like spinning.
Okay.
It's fucking cool.
That description alone is
yeah, and then like
pretty
there's
cool.
some stuff too where like okay, I'm flying in a dive bomber, a Stuka, and there's a little window that I never noticed in the game because you never look down in the game. There's a little window at your feet that you can use to like line up the targets, and you're like looking through it, and you're like kind of moving around to look through it and stuff, and then and you line up your target, and you do your air brakes, and you start diving, and then you can look out the side window, and there's lines painted on it that show like the degree of your dive, and you can actually like, use those to line that up, and then like the sights on the weapon are those like they're like the predecessor to holographic sights, you know, and so like you move your head and they disappear, and so you actually have to like put your head in the right position, use them, and sometimes you have to close one eye because otherwise you'll be seeing double. It's really, really neat. I like it a lot. I really want one now. I don't know if I'm going to get one anytime soon, but there's so many applications for it. There's more games I want to try. I bought Dirt Rally. I haven't installed that yet. And then Elite Dangerous. We've got really bad internet over there, and so that wasn't installing very quickly either. But I want to try those two really bad. But it's fucking awesome. But for those kinds of games, it is fantastic. And I also downloaded the Apollo 11. It's like a little documentary game, I guess.
Does it just put you inside the capsule and you get to look around?
It puts you through different stages of the mission, you know?
That's pretty neat.
And it was actually a lot cooler than I thought it would be. There's actually some interactive moments in it that are you know, simple but well done. And to me, though, the craziest part was like at the beginning, it puts you in a room and there's a little projector that's showing just like film of JFK making his going to space speech. And the room is so high detail, like all the textures are really high detail, the lighting's really well done. It feels like you're in it. And you can hear like the projector over there like clicking away, and you want to reach out and touch it, but you can't. And then like I was showing it to my family members and stuff. My sister actually almost fell off her chair at one point because she expected to be able to put her hand down and balance herself on the table next to the chair, but it wasn't there. It's cool. It is really, really fucking cool. And watching people use it for the first time is really fun too. Like my dad, he was doing the race car and he crashed into a wall, and before he hit it, he went "ah!" and put his hands up like that. It's fun. I gotta say, I'm gonna be playing a lot more of that because it's just it's really cool.
Okay.
All right. Other than that, I got a new game, or played a new game today actually, Inside, which is basically Limbo 2. It's very similar to Limbo.
Yeah. I've been seeing stuff about that.
I liked Limbo. I mean, it hasn't probably aged very well, but at the time it was kind of neat. This game was a little underwhelming at first because it was so much like it was like a better Limbo. The animations are fantastic and the atmosphere is really good, but it's still like running right and moving over crates to get over walls and stuff. There's a moment in that game. The last like 30 minutes or so of that game are really, really cool and probably worth it. Like they're really, really awesome. It's neat. I would wait for it to go sale if you're interested. Go on sale if you're interested in it. I think it's like $20 right now. I would say that game is worth it at $10 and below. Stream to that too. So if you want to watch that, you can go to my Twitch account and see that, I guess. I guess we can go ahead and talk about this. I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Let's.
I watched.
It's not like their best movie, but
with like the way that the shots were framed and the goofiness of it and all that. And like in fact, if I had watched that movie without knowing who directed it, I would be like 90% sure that it was Wes Anderson. It's that close to me.
However, there were things in there that are much more, I don't know, active than most Wes Anderson movies.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
The choreography of that like sailor dance number. That was
Yeah.
great. And that doesn't really happen all that much in Wes Anderson movies, like the
True.
big production elements of it. I don't know. But off of the Wes Anderson bit, I think that Hail Caesar is probably the closest thing they've made to just a straight up comedy. I mean that. I
Yeah.
can't think of like maybe Big Lebowski,
Well,
but
Oh
that
Brother,
one.
Where Art Thou?
That's true.
I think
I
Oh
guess.
Brother, Where Art Thou is very, very...
It's
like-
probably closer to Oh Brother than Big Lebowski.
Yeah, because Big Lebowski is definitely a straight up comedy, but it's presented in a very dry way. And
Yeah,
this isn't,
yeah,
and
definitely.
neither is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, I think. But yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it to anyone, but it is a goofy, weird movie. Yeah, it was cool. There's not much to say about it really though.
I was glad to have watched it.
Yeah. What else? I think the finale of Game of Thrones was after we had our last podcast.
Probably.
I
Let
don't
me
think
guess.
there's that much to say about it.
Daenerys Targaryen is almost to Westeros. She is almost there. She is on her way. She's coming, but she's not there yet. But she will be soon.
She is literally on the boat, so
But you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen?
They're gonna have to turn around.
Nope. There's going to be an island along the way.
yeah, maybe.
I fucking
Um,
guarantee you there's going to be an island along the way.
I will say that like this is very clearly the end of them leading up to the big events. Like it's actually the way the season ended is very, very obviously saying like, here we're setting up the actual stuff, the big stuff that's going to be happening. But I've been really critical of Game of Thrones lately. Like I just think like the last season in particular has just been the directing and acting and stuff is fine. It's better than ever actually, but the writing is so it feels like they didn't plan ahead at all.
Because there's 2 books left to go.
I
With
just,
no
I
end in
know that
sight.
but I know that they like work very closely with George R.R. Martin, and there's certain storylines where it feels like they gave them up because they were boring or something like that, and then they had to bring them back and just rushed through the whole thing in like a few episodes. And sometimes like the brother who came back, who's a completely new character, and it lasts like 1 episode, and it's this big thing, like a lot happens, and then they steal the fleet and sail away, and it all happens in 1 episode, and it's like really quick and weird, and the pacing is just crazy on that show. And then of course they still follow the same formula of leading up to a battle, climactic battle happens in the second to last episode, and then the next episode sets up the next season, and it's just so formulaic. And then you get the news stories that are coming out that are like, which character is gonna die? And it's like,
Oh yeah, those are always the best. Like
But it's
the
like
show is
everyone
built
knows.
on character deaths.
Exactly. It's like at first that was what made the show good because you didn't expect it to happen, and it
They
was
couldn't-
unlike other shows because it was so shocking and so brutal with
Right.
the way that it would just kill people off, or like you never knew it was going to happen. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like, okay, I know there's a character's going to die. And it's like
Exactly.
everyone's making their theories on who's going to die, and so it just loses all of its effect.
There are 2 that worked really, really well, which were Ned Stark, that was great first season, and then Robb Stark, because the setup for that was like so obvious in like a typical fantasy story, like his father dies and he's gonna lead the army to avenge
Yeah.
him, and then he just gets cut down, and that was good. But really, since then, I haven't seen this most recent season because I just kind of lost interest. But even like up until that, there was nothing had the same impact. Like once you blew that load, there really wasn't. I kind of gave up every character as kind of
Yeah, and I don't think the show
Disposable.
needs. I don't think the show needs those moments to be good.
Oh, and of course not.
But the writers feel like they do. And
Oh
so
yeah,
the writers set
and
up
because
those
that's what's
moments
so
constantly.
popular. That's what's so
Yeah.
popular. You get
It
a
is, you're right.
20
That's-
million view Jimmy
That's the mainstream
Kimmel
appeal.
skit with look at all these people react to this, and
Yeah.
oh shit, he died. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them for doing it because it seems like, I mean, season 6 especially has been most popular by far, and like now suddenly everyone's watching the show, and it's the worst that it's been so far. So mainstream appeal, I guess. That sucks, but I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed enough to keep watching it, but it's so predictable. And then they like introduce a new character, and he's instantly likable, but not important to the plot. And it's like, okay, well, he's gonna die by the end of the episode. Then he dies by the end of the episode, and it's just like, yep, that happens.
Or when they introduce an unassuming likable supporting character who will definitely survive the whole season. And then, shockingly, they don't. Okay, so Game of Thrones. That's Game of Thrones. Did you say anything about CSGO Cologne?
Oh no, I just wanted to mention I did watch the latest CS:GO tournament. And it was really good. It was really Team Liquid, the American team, got to the finals and then lost. But it was exciting to watch them get there, and it's weird. It seems to me that like CS:GO is almost at its most exciting right now with like the way that the teams have had to be mixed up a lot, and so you don't really know who's going to win, and the crowd's choosing all their favorites and stuff, but it's getting the least amount of views. Like it got like half as many views as last year at Cologne. So I don't know. Maybe CS:GO is losing its grasp on viewership. I don't know, but I still enjoy watching it. It's one of the few esports that I actually really enjoy watching.
Well, speaking of
esports, yeah.
Speaking of Skippy, that's a great segue, Skip, because I was just watching an esport. It's called Melee, and
I was watching it too.
Hungrybox won, and that sucks because I don't like that guy.
Seems like everyone hates him, and I've struggled to figure out why. From reading around on the internet, it seems like people hate him because of the way he uses Jigglypuff.
It's less about that.
Ruins the game.
No. The people. Okay, so I think I hate Hungrybox, and I admit that the hate for Hungrybox is overblown. But it's really not about his play style. I remember when I first got into it, I had just seen like the documentary, and that's all I had to go off of. And I thought Mango was a fucking douchebag, and that Hungrybox, he played a different character, but his own style, And that's fine. I can take like the slow play. That's not really that big a deal to me. But just the more you watch him, I don't like him. I don't like him as a person. Not like that I want him to die or anything, but when God, like every interview he has, or every tournament he wins, even when he beats somebody he's way better than, he'll like pop off and start crying and I didn't know I would win. He's really well, I think he is, but he comes across as like really he's like fake in a lot of ways, and I don't even know what that means. I think it's a very like gossipy sports angle of me to take.
Well, I think
where it's like this player's fake,
Well, the Smash community is so much about the personalities.
It is.
Like from the few things that I watch, it's so clear. The personalities are like on display, and the rivalries are so intimate. like they sit right next to each other on the stage, and they react to every play, and you see those reactions, and then they talk shit about each other, or they whatever. It's a very tight community that has been through a lot. So I get that. Like, I get that it's important that each player has their kind of personality, and that's probably the same thing I would do if I watched more of it. Is like.
Yeah, you'd start to have opinions about him. Definitely.
But watching it from like a reserved position is just kind of like, oh, that's interesting, but
yeah,
I'm not invested in whether they're likable or not.
Now, what I won't take away from Hungrybox is that this was very well deserved. He has been doing really, really well this year, the best he's ever done, and then for like the last couple months he fell off pretty hard. The tournament before this was the worst he'd like done in years. Wow. So. Yeah, he earned this. Didn't necessarily want him to, but he earned it.
Watching those games, I watched like the last few of them since he was playing Mango. That's the first one I was watching there.
But
I
really wanted Mango to win.
They were all really exciting to me. That's what I like. That's one of the things I like about Smash more than like the other fighting games seem perfectly exciting, but Smash just has these moments where we've talked about it before, but like. It's like it gets down to those final moments, and everything hits the fan, and I guess they change their play style in a way that like draws it out, and then there'll be a big moment that ends it every single time, and that's awesome.
There's no health bar to chip down.
Yeah.
You can be at like 0 and die, or you could be at 160 and die. It really becomes a much tenser game in the final moments than I think a lot of other fighting games do.
Like in one of those matches, Hungrybox had won one life, or whatever you call them, and then the other guy had two, and Hungrybox won in like a matter of like a minute.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that can just happen.
It can.
It's cool.
Yeah, so that's Smash. I guess the best thing, I kind of wanted just Hungrybox to lose. I didn't necessarily want Armada to win. But I kind of do like that Armada didn't win twice in a row, and that there's actually still some like contention.
Level theme music.
Oh yeah,
Did you
the
notice
Kirby,
that?
yep. They go, Yep, that's pretty common. Okay, so that was Smash.
Kirby, yeah.
I got some new hardware too. You see these sick cans?
Oh,
these,
yeah.
These sick cans.
Yes.
Well, these are Sennheiser HD 600s. I finally did it because
got
my
your new job and you got some new cans.
exactly, yeah. I did get my new cans from a new job, and actually my old cans, which were the 595s, they had like broken. I used to fly back and forth from college, from like Houston to Baltimore, and I would just shove my headphones in my bag because it was just every couple of months doing that. And they got cracked at some point, and I like jerry rigged them together with crazy glue and tape,
Yeah,
and
I've
they
been there.
they sounded great, and they still do, but now they just finally completely fell apart around the plastic. And so I figure, you know what, I'm gonna go for some good uns, and these are good uns, man. Like, they sound really good, and they sound good enough that I think I'm actually gonna save up for like a preamp for them. So yeah,
All right.
sick cans, dude. I
made a purchase recently.
What'd you purchase?
I'm not gonna give it away. It's
What
gonna
did
be
you
a surprise.
purchase, perchance? I guess we'll find out.
You'll be able to see it on the podcast in the next, hopefully, few weeks. We'll see.
Huh?
Just a
Okay.
small purchase. Just a small
A
purchase.
Vive.
It's gonna be
Okay.
a big surprise.
All right.
It's not a Vive. It's not a Vive or an Oculus.
Okay. A mic, maybe. Okay. Anyway, I got Doom also when that was on sale, and I love that. It's
I
amazing.
didn't get it. I don't know why I didn't get it.
You
I
should
don't know why I
have.
didn't buy it.
You should have bought it.
I think it was
Oh
just
my
'cause I was
god. Souls 3. I thought it was really
I
good,
know.
but it's a game I kind of played before. I know what that's like. It's not like you played Dark Souls 3 and you're experiencing something you have never seen a glimpse of in Dark Souls 1. Doom is just refreshing in every way. Every second of that game that I'm playing it, I'm enjoying it. It's not like the extreme difficulty, but they have like 3 open for you when you start, and I picked the hardest one. And really, I think that's probably how they balanced it, because it seems like a challenge, but not like a challenge for the sake of it kind of difficulty level. That's probably where they want most people going. It is just every single thing in that game is perfectly fitted together. Like the music, and that was the intro synthesizer. This is secondhand information, but the composer for this game, who also, when he was making the music for this, he had like this 70s Cold War Russian analog synthesizer and was just like turning knobs and making these insane sounds, and had like a 9-string guitar with the distortion cranked to max. Like, it shows how much care was put into the sound for this game. It just fades in and out of like energy and like downtime when you're doing glory kills, they call them, when the enemies, it'll like spike up for just a second and it feels totally smooth and natural, and then it falls back down to like this pounding pace as you're moving around a room at Mach speed, by the way. Holy shit, you move so fast in this game. It's awesome. It's really fun. Every encounter in the game is fun. And even the boss is really fun. I fought a boss, and it was fun as shit. And not just the actual gameplay of it, which surprisingly, for a first-person shooter boss, was legitimately good.
Yeah.
But it was the presentation of the boss and like the design of it and the phases that you go through with it. Man, that game, really good. I think I'm getting close to the end now, and it is like the most refreshing experience I've had playing a game in a while. Like, really,
Awesome.
just splashing cold water on your face. Like, really, really nice. I love Doom.
I've seen like the first like 20 or 30 minutes, and I gotta say, like, that, I guess you would call it the introduction to that game is
Oh, it's
pretty great.
hilarious.
like first of all, you just instantly start basically. Like
Yeah.
you wake up from the thing, and then you just start shooting things and going and shooting things, and then you get in that elevator, and the dude starts talking to you.
I'm
There's, like,
Dr.
that
Samuel
tiny
Hayden.
bit of exposition, introduces the bad guy, and he
And
punches
then
the
you-
screen, and then the title screen, and then it does the title screen, and the elevator doors open, and he cocks his shotgun in tune with the music, like in beat with the music, and
Yep.
then it's like
Yeah.
you're on, and
It's awesome.
That's a fucking great introduction. I gotta say.
The whole game has that pace too.
Yeah.
It's not just like the beginning. You go through so fast and nothing overstays its welcome. It's not like totally without a story, but it's just restrained and it's only there as much as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Really simple, and the engine is great. It's a really, really good engine. It looks very good, obviously, but it runs so well. It runs impressively well. I'm like, I can't actually tell because I don't have a frame counter on, but I know it's like at least just from eyeballing it on this monitor, 144 hertz monitor, it's like 100 plus a lot of times. Everything maxed out.
Don't
except
quote
for
me
anti-aliasing.
on this. I think it's 60 FPS plus on consoles too, and that it still looks amazing on
Oh, yeah,
consoles
yeah,
even at
yeah.
that frame rate. So that's pretty impressive.
It is a very impressive game, technically. And it just... I don't have anything bad to say about it. Nothing has bothered me in the game. It's...
All right.
Yeah, it's just really, really good in every level.
It's cool how surprising it is because nothing about this game it shouldn't have been a good game. Like
It looks so bad to start. We were shit-talking it.
Yeah, I wasn't totally negative on it, but like after that first E3, it was just kind of like, all right, they're making a modern Doom, like whatever. It looks all right, but
To be fair, a lot of that's how they showed it.
yeah, they
Which
showed
is
it
the
badly.
slow, sweeping angles of the environment, and then
Yeah.
very slow shotgun
And they showed
or
some gameplay.
chainsaw
but
animation.
It was shooting one monster at a time, and then showing off like the kill
20-minute,
animations and
yeah,
stuff.
20-minute chainsaw kills.
Yeah,
This is
and
absolutely the opposite in execution.
and the fact that they had the multiplayer beta too, that was just awful. Like nobody liked it, and it was just kind of like, okay, well, I guess nobody's gonna buy this game. And then it turns out the single player is apparently amazing, and it's done really well off of it, like seemingly basically on word of mouth. And
Yes.
it's really cool. It's amazing that they've kept the core gameplay of a game a first-person shooter that's that old, and God,
Yeah.
they don't age well.
It's the best. This is the best Doom.
I'm glad. It seems like we are finally for good out of the left trigger, right trigger, aim down the sights video games, sprint and aim down the sights video games. As far as first-person shooters goes, you've got Overwatch and Doom being hugely successful,
You don't even have to
and Call of
reload.
Duty being shit on, and it's like, holy shit, we have innovative, cool shooters now. It's great. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
God, Doom is just so good. I don't want to spoil it, but there's an area I got to that just... I think this is toward the end of the game, but visually it's amazing. Totally unlike what is in the rest of the game. Just, man, Doom
But
is
have
really
you seen
good.
the arrow in the knee poke?
Is there one?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a skeleton, and it has the Skyrim helmet on, and it has an arrow in its knee.
Well, at least no one said it out loud. It's the
There's a
best
few
I
other
can-
references apparently, but
Well,
at
so
least
long-
at least it's a Bethesda published game.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have a
yeah.
reason to make their own, but still,
Exactly.
God damn it.
Okay, so I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that was in there. Okay, other game, Rhythm Heaven. Perfected everything in the game and finished all the challenges, baby. Another one down. Yeah, man.
I heard it has some pretty good challenges, like pretty tough
Some
challenges.
very
at the
hard
end.
challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
That was harder than perfecting everything in the game by, like, a lot.
Yeah.
But not always for the best reasons. And now that I've actually finished all the challenges, I'm not stopping until I've totally 100%ed everything and gotten all the
Okay.
badges. But in the other games, all that meant was just you perfect all the songs and then you're good. In this, you have to, like, grind coins out and do these stupid street pass challenges where you're like the
Oh.
figure fighter and like punching a Mii. And there's actually a pachinko game in the game where you have to feed onions to a goat.
That's just going to be everything coming out of Japan pretty soon. It's just going to be pachinko-based video games.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
So I finished all the rhythm-based challenges in the game, but to actually 100% it like I want to, I have to do this stupid shit. So, oh well. But overall, very fun game. The challenges themselves, though, I think that some of them really stood out as being genuinely challenging. Like there's one called Extreme Sports, and it's 7 sports-based rhythm games in a row, and they're all tempoed up, and it's fun until you get to the last one. And you played Rhythm Heaven Fever, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you know the one with like the bat where it's like that.
Yep.
So it's that at double speed, but the challenge type is called Monster Maw. So the screen is getting smaller and smaller, just very gradually. And every time you get what's called an ace, which is not just hitting the beat, but hitting it exactly perfectly on time. Once you hit an ace, the screen gets bigger. And so you're constantly trying to get an ace and just keep it from getting small enough for this monster to eat the screen. And so in most games it's fine because you're doing stuff frequently enough, but that game in particular, you have to wait so long between every beat that you can actually action that it's just so stressful and stupid. And I don't know, there's some challenges that just stand out as just being not fun. And in general, the challenges felt very tedious. Like either they were super easy and you just felt like you had to do them. Like, oh, do these 8 super easy games and get above a 75. I hope you can manage that. So, yeah, very time-consuming challenges. But overall, it's fun. And then I only got one other thing to report on. This is very newsworthy. I watched The League from beginning to end.
The show?
Yeah, the show on FX.
Oh, okay.
And-
My
okay.
roommates watched that.
Yeah,
I've seen some episodes.
the last season, though, of The League, and nobody,
Who cares?
I'm sure nobody cares. I think they just said fuck it because they knew it was the last season, and they did some extreme shit. Like in
Extreme
general,
in what way?
they're like chilling at the bar. He's like winning the league, and then it breaks into like for the second half of the episode, it breaks into an Archer style animated sequence.
What?
Of one of the characters named Rafi going to like Puerto Rico with Seth Rogen, and he gets like a bee, like a honeybee beard, a pubic beard made of bees, and he like shoots bees at people from his penis. And in the story that he's
solid.
telling, this is like his eulogy for his sister. He's telling the story of going to Puerto Rico and like
Kind of watch it while they're talking to each other, and then they'll think inside their head as they're talking, and it's kind of your classic like British things, and they're trying to convince themselves in their head that they're okay. And I haven't finished it yet, but It's Philadelphia is something that like I've seen a lot of the episodes, but I've never really like watched it.
I watched every episode of that show, and it has not gotten worse at all.
It's
Over 10,
it's a
11
great
years.
show,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. So I've been meaning to go back and watch that too. But yeah, Peep Show is also very good. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you Pokemon go. Guys, that is my
You're
Hillary,
like Hillary
Clinton pun of the day. Guys, Pokemon Go has changed the way we live. I'm out there in the streets hunting for Pokemon, posting up at my
meeting
local
friends
Poke
and meeting
Gym.
my rivals.
Yeah, I'm bonding with the rest of humanity. Somebody on my Facebook feed posted that. It was like, guys, think about it seriously. Pokemon Go has changed the way that we live together in society. Okay, so Pokemon Go is a piece of shit smartphone app that is
I'll agree with that.
designed just like every other smartphone app. in that it incentivizes you to drop real-world money, and the underlying gameplay is very thin and bad, and it's a shitty game that sucks. So, Skippy, you said you've been Pokegoing.
So I agree with everything you said, but I haven't stopped playing it, and I don't plan to stop playing it anytime soon. It's a
could
very
not
badly
disagree.
made in every way app. It's a piece of shit. It works maybe 15% of the time. You either can't log in at all, you log in and it freezes, you log in and it doesn't load correctly. Once you're logged in and playing, it stops loading or it stops updating the creatures and all that shit. It runs a piece of shit. The frame rate is terrible. The interface is terrible. And then when you're actually playing the game, the actual gameplay is, like you said, extremely thin. I would say thinner than most mobile games, because the combat comes down to tapping a screen, and catching the Pokemon comes down to like a simplistic throwing thing. But it's such a simple little thing that like doesn't cost anything to. I don't know. I know where the gyms are and where some of the Pokestops are. So if I'm near them, I'll just pull out my phone and do the thing. And then at home, a lot of Pokemon are around, so I catch them at home, and I just keep playing. I put a Pokemon in a gym today while getting
did you?
lunch. Yeah, just dropped him off. Gym. So
Well, I hope he dies there. You know, Pokemon Go, there's a number of reasons that I fucking hate it, and it's not just because it's a bad app or it's so simple and
that's the thing on it, but it doesn't because it's had such huge popularity. This is the bar. This is where it's set. People are like playing it with any amount of seriousness, like actually like going out specifically to go to a gym and take it over, and like I get it from a social aspect of like, okay, let's go with our friends down to where there's a bunch of other people playing. We can, meet people and stuff, and like, okay, that's kind of neat, whatever. But God, it just sucks. The game itself is just
you
way
should be
too
able
thin.
to tap a thing that lets you Pokemon battle your friend.
Yeah, obviously, and trade and the battles themselves. Why not make them turn-based? I guess because it would take too long, and you want it to be like a really quick thing. But it just make it turn-based. Put a few abilities in there. You can simplify it a little bit, but like it just doesn't need to be this
Bad.
thin. And I don't think it will have lasting appeal either. I think it's gonna die off pretty quickly because unless they start updating it and fixing it really quickly, it's gonna drop off.
It is the textbook definition of a fad.
Yeah.
This isn't a game. This is a fad.
Have you seen the videos of people like stampedes of people to go
Yep.
catch Pokemon in like Central
Yep.
Park and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really hate it.
I don't know. I don't hate it. Whatever. Who cares? I mean, at least it's getting people outside. At least it's getting people to meet each other.
No,
I'm sure.
it's not.
Think of how many people have probably gotten laid because of Pokemon Go.
I don't want to think about that.
Well, that's a great thing to think about. Good for them.
Speaking of equally good things, Metal Gear Solid Pachinko.
I mean, is there news here?
Metal Gear Solid Pachinko. The first trailer they showed with like the highlight though, by far, Red Dead Redemption.
Someone's going to hell for this too, because this was the biggest disappointment. It was Red Dead Redemption was trending on Twitter, and I was like, "This is it. This is it. They've done it. They've made
Nope.
an HD remake. It's coming to PC. It's gonna be great." No, it's just backwards compatible on the Xbox One. That's it. And apparently that was huge news because everyone was talking about it for a day. And it's not huge news because all it is backwards compatibility, which means they didn't have to recode the game or anything. They're just emulating the Xbox 360. And so they spent no effort on it, which means there's even less chance, if anything, that it's going to come out on the PC. And at least there is more chance now that, they must be getting close to a Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe that's why they've pushed the backwards compatibility, but I want Red Dead Redemption 1, and I want it on PC. God damn it.
That would be very good.
So that's it. Apparently it runs really well.
That is So at first that made me a little hopeful that someone had put effort in to make it.
No effort.
Well, they
emulation.
did, but it's Microsoft doing. I
Yep.
really want to play that again.
Me too. I was actually thinking about hooking up my Xbox 360 again, playing through it.
The music too in that,
Yeah.
like the compass after you finish like the main story in quotes,
Yeah.
and then you're riding back home on horseback.
And the one that hits when you go into Mexico.
Yep.
And just the normal music too, like just the normal soundtrack of like that Western style and everything was great. That game, what a great game! God damn it, that's one of the best games of the last of that decade.
I think it's the best game they've made at Rockstar.
I really like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I honestly
I
really
haven't
like
played
Grand
San
Theft Auto
Andreas.
5 too.
That's true. I haven't played San Andreas. But I liked it more than Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, and a lot of people say Vice City is their favorite, and I didn't really play that one that much. So.
Evolve Stage 2. That's it.
Oh.
Stage 2, guys. We're leveling up here at Stage 2 now.
No, I doubt. All I heard about it was the news that one day, and I don't know anyone who went back and started playing it again. I'm sure there's some people. I think they've been very open about their mistakes and saying like, yeah, we kind of fucked up with the microtransactions and all that shit.
They can't unfuck it up.
But yeah, exactly. It's kind of too late. And then of course, it's really bad timing because it's right after this other game that people have been playing. This other 5v1 or 4v1.
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight.
That game
yeah.
sucked.
It looks bad. But
I played it.
But the fact that it's coming out right after that seems like really bad timing.
Yeah, that game, it just sucks for so many reasons. I've been seeing Flimsy tweet about it a lot. I don't understand how anyone can play more than like 2 hours of that game. It is one of the most shallow games that exists. I played it in the beta, so it was free, which is what I'm willing to pay for it.
Yep.
It's just exactly as simple as it sounds. There's a guy with a big knife, and he runs around chasing people who can't do anything. Except they can vault over ledges slightly faster than him, the killer. So it really becomes a game of complete exploitation. That once you figure out, okay, if I go over the ledge, I have a guaranteed head start, then you just start like mapping out like how many ledges can I jump over as quickly as possible. It's just not. It's not a very good game, and it's worth about a couple hours of your time and nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, that's the impression I got of it when, like, a couple people asked me if I was getting it, and I looked at the gameplay videos, and I was like, yeah, this is like the definition of one of those flash-in-the-pan games where some YouTuber played it for, like, something, and a bunch of people bought it, and it's really quick hype that dies down really quick once people realize how shallow it is. Which is unfortunate, because I think that, I guess, genre of game, like the one versus all genre of games, has some potential. The Hidden. Did you ever play that? The Source mod?
I've seen that. Never played
really
it.
Good. It's really good. It's so easy to cheat on, and it's not necessarily well balanced, but it's awesome. You're almost invisible as the Hidden. All you have is a knife. Everyone else has guns. It's atmospheric, and it's just a lot of fun. And you've got a lot of like kind of. Not a lot, but you've got some tools at your disposal that are, add some depth to it, and it has a lot of replay value. Every once in a while, I'll go back and play it with some friends and have a lot of fun with it. And I don't know why someone doesn't just copy that formula and make like a high budget, or not even high budget, like mid-budget game that's a lot like the Hidden, or even the original Hidden devs. Like why they didn't make it that something, because it was pretty popular. I think there's still probably people playing it. There's probably still populated servers. But it's old, and it hadn't really been updated at all. So, yeah.
It reminds me of a different game that this was not asymmetrical multiplayer, so I'm not sure why this reminds me of it. But Intruder, do you remember that?
Yeah. Whatever
happened to that? Is that still...
I haven't checked up on it lately. It seems like they were still working on it. I can't imagine any reason they would have stopped. I feel like it probably has a dedicated, player base. That was a cool game. It had so much shit in it, like all these gadgets and stuff that were you could really use them in some clever ways. That was a cool game. It wasn't really well, it was asymmetrical in that there's like an attack and defender team with slightly different gadgets, but not really that same genre, I guess. But yeah, that was a cool game.
It was a good small game.
I should go back and check on it. Then. Fun.
And last, but probably least, CS:GO betting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, guys, we're blowing the lid off of this story. Did you know that there's betting in CS:GO?
I
What
don't know.
can you say?
Do you know? Have you read on what the story here is?
Yeah.
That the
CSGOLotto.com. They
and the
pretended not to
YouTuber
own the
owned it.
site.
Yeah. Pretty scummy.
Very scummy.
Yeah, but
This. I just wish this would splash back on Valve somehow. I mean, of course you have this guy in a trap. He called it gambling in a video.
Yeah.
So you can't finagle around it and say it's not real money when you have interest to just keep churning out microtransacted, cases.
skins.
Yeah, that's their business model right now. It's how they make.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at least they could put a stop to it. I don't really. I think it's insane. It's a controversial opinion of the day here. It's insane that people pay that much money for virtual
It is
skins.
insane.
Uh,
However, it's also very juvenile and stupid,
Yeah.
which fits because a lot of the people blowing hundreds of dollars on this stuff are not people who earn money themselves. They're children
Yeah.
who have access to their parents' money. Children often under the age of like 15 who are gambling. It's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
and I'm of a split opinion. Like, the onus should be on the parents to,
Even
see
if-
what people outside of the video game world thought about it, and it's just like it blows their mind.
Even if like a 15-year-old has a job at Burger King flipping patties, I don't think he should be able to blow all his money in a casino.
Yeah.
I don't think that because gambling, like alcohol or
It's an adult
heroin,
decision.
it's an adult thing that is just, empirically, it's addictive. People
Yeah.
get addicted to gambling. They get addicted to random positive reinforcement. And kids are doing that. And it's not even just like parents' money that you could, make sure your kid doesn't have your credit card, obviously. But, kids have jobs or they get birthday money.
People just
Exactly.
just watching it on standby.
The
to get
last time I
skins.
watched it, it was like
Gambling.
sick for the pricing of everything is how rare it is relative to that gambling process. So it sucks. It's just pitiful. It's
It's weird.
pitiful. It makes me feel pity. Well,
Yeah.
guys, those are our feelings
Why can't Valve make video games anymore?
because it's economically inefficient for them because they could just be a casino.
I have heard that like a huge amount of their total workforce is working on Vive stuff.
What else are they gonna do?
Sit around and watch the skin marketplace go
Exactly.
up and down. Yeah, the whole thing is automated anyway. Oh man. All right. Do we have any other news? Is there anything else?
Oh, a new Overwatch hero.
Oh yeah. We didn't talk about that. Yeah.
So in the PTR right now, you can play.
Public test realm.
For the folks at home, the PTR stands for Public Testing Realm. You can head into this realm and play as the new hero, Anna. And she's pretty fun. She's a sniper and healer, which is a bit of an odd combo.
Yeah.
She shoots her teammates to heal them, and she shoots enemies to it's like poison them, kind of. It doesn't reduce their health over time, but it reduces their health, and then they can't get healed
Right.
for like a short period of time. And her grenade does that too. And then she also has like an ability that puts people to sleep. But I like her because she is a sniper that is actually interesting. She's not just aim down the sights, get headshots like Widowmaker or somebody. So yeah, pretty cool. But it's hard to tell how she's actually going to function, because in the PTR everybody's playing Anna, and then the characters that got changes like Diva and Zenyatta.
Right.
6 team Zenyatas. I did this like 10 times in a row and lost once. 6 Zenyatas is absolutely overpowered in the PTR. Now, competitive, you can't dupe heroes, so I guess it's not really that relevant. However, nobody could fucking stop us. 6 Zenyatas on casual, just because of how ridiculous that is now. He's got more health, everything about him's better, his healing orbs go out faster, his discord orbs go out faster. You just keep all your harmony orbs like as a daisy chain on your team, so you're all healing constantly, and it's just out of control how good that combination is.
I played a game where it was probably like me and like 2 or 3 other people. It wasn't like we had the full team. I think we got destroyed, like we got wrecked in the first round, and it was a capture the flag, no, not capture the hill, that game mode, and it was I don't know, I guess we had decided like, okay, we're gonna lose this no matter what, let's all go Mercy. And so we all went Mercy, and then the other team saw us all go Mercy, and they went all Mercy too. And it lasted so long because there's always someone with the ult, and so they always revive everyone else. And so it's just constantly that happening over and over, and it was actually, I wouldn't want to play it more than once probably, but it was kind of fun, because like half the people pull out their pistols and try to kill the other ones. It was completely ridiculous, and it lasted so fucking long. It was just constant overtime.
I really don't have a lot of patience for like the joke team comps, because of how often that usually just turns into, we're going to do it for 10 seconds, and then a bunch of pussies are going to change because they don't want to lose.
Yeah. I don't know how this ended up with, like, went through the whole match like that. I don't know why the other team agreed to do it.
It's nice when it actually works out. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just losing for 7 minutes, and it's stupid.
I'll tell you one thing. I've been playing some competitive Overwatch. I finally got ranked and all that. People leave a lot.
Yeah, they do.
What the fuck?
It's surprising.
The matches aren't even that long. Like, that almost never happens in CSGO.
Yeah.
People almost never leave. And now in Overwatch, it's like almost half of my, well, not half, but it's like a good chunk of my matches have been people leaving. And it ruins it for everyone. It's like,
I will not play with randoms. Because they leave. People leave as soon as they feel like they're starting to lose.
It's hard to get 6 people together to play, you know?
Not for me, because I have friends.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
right,
I'm a cool guy.
Yeah.
With cool vibes. But you should play with us.
We should play after the stream.
We could.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Guys.
In fact, I'll stream it too.
That's a good idea. Guys, that is it for tonight's episode of Push to Shout. We had some feelings on the table. I hope you've shared in these feelings. Partaken in the... This is the feelings cast. We have some...
Okay.
I felt good about this. I hope you feel good too. Thank you for tuning into these feelings. Good night. And we will be streaming on the... Is it the? I can never remember. The Skippy?
I think it's Twitch. No, I think it's just Twitch/Skippy Sigmatic. Yeah, it's just Skippy Sigmatic.
We will be streaming on Skippy Sigmatic Tube.
Nobody wanted to take my name, so I didn't have to do the Skippy Sigmatic.
Twitch Hamster.
Oh, Hitbox was the Skippy Sigmatic. Someone took it on that.
X Hub Skippy. We're out. Good night.